So in my last short, if you're following along, you'll see that we tried to start this generator and it wouldn't start except for on ether. Several people noted that O is not on, but that should be on. This is how the switch was installed. This is how it starts on ether. I've honestly not tried to run it this way, but it does start this way. So we're just gonna keep going with that's on. This should be ignition to ground, so that should be off, and that should be open circuit. So what we're gonna do is take the carb off and try to get it cleaned. To catch up, if you haven't seen the last short, we found this generator in the trash. Tried pulling it over, wouldn't start. Gave it ether, did start. So we are currently taking off the carburetor. We got the filter housing off and the carburetor nuts. We got the fuel line clamp on since our petcock is broken. So we disconnect this, get all the linkage taken off, and get her out of there. So we have the carburetor off, and just the smell of it alone is gonna say that this thing sat with some bad gas in it for a while. And since our workbench is covering about 4 other projects, we're gonna do this one on the floor. So just got the bottom screw out here. We'll see if we can separate this. And yeah, she's a little dirty in there. So we'll continue getting this thing taken apart and see if we can get it cleaned out. All right, so looks like we found our main culprit here. Trying to lift this out. It has a decent amount of resistance. So I'm gonna assume that was getting a little stuck. It did come out without breaking it, but it was not pivoting on its own for sure. All right, so got it torn down to where I feel comfortable with it. And what we are going to do is put it in this really cheap Harbor Freight Ultrasonic cleaner. It's got the emulsion tube and jet. And then we are going to use Kim Dip carburetor cleaner in here. I've actually had really good luck with this stuff being used in the Ultrasonic. Just enough to get up here and cover the parts. And that is all we got, and we're pretty much at the max line. So we're going to turn on temperature and set it to the max. And it's going to take a while for it to warm up first. This is going to be like a cold cycle on it. And I'll give it about a half hour of soaking and off and on ultrasonic with some heat, and then we'll see what they look like when we pull them out. So it's been about 30 minutes. I kind of forgot to get back to it because I had some other stuff going on. So kind of just move it around here a little bit, get a different angle on it. And we will reset the timer. Come on, chunky Harbor Freight thing. And I spilled something on this a while back, and it just made all the plastics fall apart on it. It did not like it. I mean, it's just cracking to pieces. But I don't know why it won't turn on now. It's like completely froze up besides the set button. So I turn it off and on again, and now I can't get temperature control, but I can get, let's turn on and off. Maybe it's down, that might be for overheat. That might be what that is. So it seems to be potentially overheating. I think that's what that means. Really not sure. I'm just gonna plug it for a while and we'll come back and try it again. All right, so we've already had this run once. I just turned it back on while I was getting some stuff ready. Shut it off here. And we will go fishing for all our parts. That glove didn't make it through trying to put it on. So if you remember what the bowl looked like, got a little glimpse of it earlier, but that is phenomenally better. And now just to put my hand and burning hot liquid and look for these two little guys. Oh, that is hot. And look how those came out. That is really good looking. Like, that is phenomenal. So I'm gonna get these cleaned up a little bit more now. And get this glove off. Ooh, shoot him over there. Gloves for the carb cleaner, but not for the brake cleaner. Where are your values? I guess you guys can't see from that angle. So I'm trying to do this where you guys can see. Get a rag and wipe all this down. So I will give it to you. The combination of these two things is pretty miserable feeling on your hands. Need to rinse off the top here a little bit more. Trying to keep you guys in frame here. Ain't all about this life though. And that carb cleaner just does phenomenal. With a little bit of heat. I've let this stuff soak without heat and it didn't really want to do anything. I mean, like talking day in there without heat, didn't do anything. And with some heat and a little bit of ultrasonic, this thing does phenomenal. That jet just came out, or the emulsion tube just came out really, really clean. Looks really good. Anything that's really left on these, normally just light wire brush takes it all off. Just making sure that is going to move in and out smooth. Bottom bolt's a little dirty, so let's clean it up. These are garbage, but they're very comfortable to use, so I do like them. All right, so we got it back together. We can get it back on the generator now. Generator over there. All right, let's try to get this carburetor on here. Drip a little bit of fuel out. Choke lever. We're gonna throw this garbage gasket back on the front because that is currently all we've got. Trying to figure out which way this thing went on here. If this works, we'll definitely replace that little guy. Or make a new one or something. Bring you guys around here for a better view, I guess. Not that there's a whole lot to really pay attention to. Try to get you closer. Yeah, see how that goes. Yeah, I guess I need to tighten those first, don't I? Pretty swell filter here. There's that. voltage according to the meter, but it fired right up first full. That is awesome. So I'm gonna go find a multimeter and double check that. We might need to raise the RPM or something. So we got our multimeter. That one's showing nothing. Getting 113, 114 on that one. That was within range. It is going up a little bit. Only 8 volts on that lead. That is weird. And then we'll check our 12-volt circuit. Hitting 14 volts on it, so that was good. Alright, let's try plugging something in. So we got this little vacuum cleaner. Why would it not plug in the answers? Up here. It should be. So confirm that one does not work. That one does work. As you can hear, it's loading. And it is dropping to about 100 volts. A little bit over. But she's running pretty strong. Engine sounds good. Fired first full. For finding that in the trash, I am absolutely happy with that. Alright, so I've taken the top panel down. Turn that back on to on. Start it up. Set that right in the way. We're going to take one lead and put it into the outlet underneath, into the outlet. And the other one we're going to probe the breaker. So we're getting voltage on this side of the breaker, not on this side of the breaker, and it won't reset. So we got a bad breaker. And then so this is ground to the machine. So just got that on tone, so when you touch them, why no tone? There we go, tone. So from this lead to ground, tone. So when you have this on off, we should have continuity between these two sides. So that's grounding the ignition and turning it off. When you have it on off, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. According to that, it's doing nothing. Oh, it's taking it to ground, so if I pull this off, now it should work as we think it should. because that has a lead back. So nothing. There we go. So that was back feeding with current, with a resistance on there. So yeah, there you go. That's why on is off and off is on from a normal power fed switch, not a grounding kill switch. So we're gonna get this button back up.